Hey, this is Quest for Gear, and today we're questing for gear, and the kind of gear that we are going on a quest for is Daw controllers. This video is going to be in multiple parts. We are going to unbox a PreSonus FaderPort 8. I know, not too impressive. Well, the thing is there's not a lot of good control surfaces out there right now. The market sucks. So we're going to unbox this, and the other two parts of this series is we're going to rag on the other control surface companies. Mackie, Icon, Softube, Behringer. And the last part is I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I'll tell you the whole story, but I'll tell you a lot of my black lying audio story because it relates to control surfaces. And you say, don't you mean black lion, like ferocious lion jungle creature? No, black lying like they lie. They lie and they lie about lying. They love to lie. Black lying audio, they love to lie. And they like to take my money and lie. Anyway, so without further ado, I did go for the FaderPort 8. No, I did not cheap out. I didn't want the 16. I didn't want a big fat 16 going across my desk right now. I'm trying to keep the desk light. I got the Mac Mini and I got the Apollo Twin, and I don't have the Tascam Model 24 spread up here right now. That thing's a big fat behemoth. So I'm trying to keep the desk light. Trust me, if I wanted the 16, I would have paid the extra 300 or 400 Canadian and got the 16. But I just didn't want that. So what we are gonna do is we're going to carefully cut the tape here because I'm probably sending this back. I ordered this just as an option. I was like, I'll order it and then it'll be here on the weekend. And then once I have it, I can decide if I'm just going to send it back, which I've already owned this before and was not loving it. I got to be careful with this box though. Yeah, this one almost looks like someone's been into it before. Not too exciting what's in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Quality control. The instruction guy was just like, duh! Right? He's the PreSonus guy. He probably works at Foxconn in China. He was just like, look, I'm on my 16th hour shift. Anyway, I'm sure it got rattled around in the box. All right, so what do you got with this non too impressive option? You got the manual, of course you do. And then, okay, it's cooler than I remember. It looks nicer than I remember. I remember the faders feeling sharp and not great. What else is in here? They do give you the USB cable, which is more than you can say for, Universal Audio. Not that they do control surfaces, but those cheap so-and-sos can't even give you the cable over at Universal Audio after you spend thousands. Power plug. No, this is not USB bus power. You got to power plug it. I kind of prefer that. Stop sucking the power out my USB ports. Power it properly, please. And they do. And then this here is probably, I would guess, let me just put the control surface down. It's probably the DC wall wart part. Very, very careful. Yeah. So it is a two-part cable. You've got your DC transformer wall wart, and you got your AC. As the British like to say, your mains. How do they say that? They say your mains. They have all kinds of different British sayings for hydro. I don't even think they call it hydro. We call it hydro around here because I live close to Niagara Falls, and Niagara Falls is where, hydroelectric, right? Okay, well, let's look. The bag is very dirty. Very dirty indeed. That's gross. That's real gross. What is that? Somebody's skin? Did the guy at the Chinese factory fall into the bagging machine? Yeah, weird. Weird how dirty that is. This is all like strangely, I don't know, crazy. I know one of you guys returned this to Amazon. I got your return. It's supposed to be new. I'm not being a hypocrite. Hey, I return stuff to Amazon all the time, but I would never shake my dandruff all over the bag first. Real weird, guys. All right, take a look. Again, got to be careful. I'll probably return this back. Yeah, it is nicer than I remember. There's even like weird fingerprints up here. What happened to this thing? Who hurt you? I'm going to leave you can't leave the sticker on because then the faders won't move. It's all about registering that product at PreSonus. All right, hopefully that's not too big of a pain in the butt. But yeah, so if you don't know, these are 100mm flying faders. They feel not good, to tell you the truth. They feel real cheap. I felt better, and I'm going to talk about that in this part 2 and 3 of this video. So you'll notice it's only 8, so you don't got to master. As I understand, if I remember from when I had this, you can hit master, and then this blue knob, which does feel really good. It's like a nice aluminum knob. This will become your master fader. That's cool. I hit the master fader a lot. I don't need to because I have the Apollo. Like I could do it here, but I don't. I tend to just reach up and go, pull my master down, you know. Somebody's recording live. We don't want the mics to feedback. So this will just go master down. This stuff, I always felt, again, I've owned one of these before. I always felt this button feels bad. Does not have a good finger feel. I don't like the spongy weird buttons. I would have preferred hard plastic, click, click, chunk, chunk. All this stuff matters, you know. This thing's been out for a while. I think I last owned one in the year 2018. And who knows how long it's been out since then. So on my desk, this is going to kind of look like, if we just flip the camera up. My desk is a mess right now, but obviously this needs to, you know, these guys need to share space somehow. I'll probably put it way the heck over here, and then I'll have my Mac keyboard and my mouse. So we'll be doing something like this. And now that I look at that actually looks quite wimpy. Maybe I should have bought the 16 just because it looks bigger. I don't know. I try not to go over 16 tracks. I'm not putting on productions of Phantom of the Opera like you guys are at home, you know. Guys with 2 microphones, they need 72 tracks, you know. I try to keep my songs down to 16 tracks in my Reaper DAW, you know, or on my Tascam Model 24 or on my Zoom L20. I try to stick to 16 tracks, but so I just figured 8's going to do it, but I don't know. Now that I look at that, I'm like, that looks kind of puny on there. Maybe I will send it back and get the 16, but well, that reminds me, let's talk about these other control surface options or lack thereof. We'll go over to my computer here and mind the mess. Yeah. We'll make an adjustment and we'll talk about the sorry, sad state of control surfaces. Mind me while I have a drink. Okay. There is only a few companies out there that do control surfaces with flying faders, and they all suck. The first one that sucks is Icon, okay? So the problem with Icon is I would have to quit my job and sit here in front of the computer all day long like a job just to keep track of their models, okay? You can't keep up with them, right? So if you're like, Quest for Gear, which Icon do I buy today? Which one's good today? What did Icon release today? You're like, oh, there's the Alpha 5000 and the Sigma 6 million, and then the Alpha Beta Kappa Delta is pretty good. It's bona fide, certified, expedited, logistical. Like, or you could have the M Plus, or we got the P1M D4 2B bundle. You'll like that. Or we get the X Pro Elite Extreme, or we got the P1MI DA, and then we got the VM1. Like, it's nonsense. It's madness. You can't keep up with it. Don't try. Don't go down the Icon rabbit hole. Oh, you could get the this. It's like, come on, stop. Just, oh, look, they got the Pro G2, the Pro G2, or you could have the EXG2 if you want. If you're not interested in the EXG2, may I suggest the Platform X8? It goes on and on and on. Icon releases more control surfaces in a day than I own pairs of underwear. You cannot keep up with these idiots. Okay? And the problem is, if you start Googling all these crazy model numbers of Icon, you'll go, this one's got this problem, this one the drivers suck, this one doesn't work with all the DAWs because they've thrown universality out the window. You know, what do you call that? Where you can, you know, protocol, really, like the Mackie HUI or Mackie HUI, however you want to pronounce it. They just don't adhere to the protocol tight enough, obviously, or else their damn control surfaces will work for everything. And then you're like, well, you got to get a special elite hacker script to make it work for Reaper, and it doesn't work over here. It's just like, knock it off. Just cut it out with your stupid all these models. Icon, make one flagship and stick with it and then stop. We can't keep up with you idiots anymore. I can't even tell you which one is currently the flagship, but I can tell you I've not bought an Icon to date because I just keep reading terrible things. I've never owned one. I just keep reading terrible things. And I find that when I Google it to buy it, I'm like, let's buy an Icon, whatever, M plus D4T. Like, who names this crap? They're like, hey, Idiot Boy in marketing. And Idiot Boy comes in. He's like, oh, they're like, we need you to put a name on this one. He's like, D4, 5, Alpha, 5, 5010, 5, 9, 5, Alpha, Sigma, Elite. And they're like, yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good marketing, Idiot Boy. Thanks for naming the next Icon control surface. That'll help everybody out. Everyone knows what an X4L Delta 5000 is. Anyway, I Google, let's go ahead and buy an Icon V1-M USB. And instead of like a link to buy one comes up, horror stories about how it doesn't work come up. So I've steered clear of this. Next one, what do we got here in the old Google search? Oh, Softube. Softube thinks these things are worth $1,500, okay? They released the Mark 1, was it? And it had no transport controls on it, I don't think. You couldn't hit play, rewind, fast forward, right? So that's a dumb move. They put out a really expensive flying fader. I better just type Softube here to make sure I got the right thing. Yeah, here we go. This is the Mark 3. It doesn't look like it has transport controls either. If it does, they'd be dumb. Like, where's the play button? Where's the record? Maybe it's there. I don't know. They think this is worth $1,500. It's not. You know why? Because Behringer's got one for $500. Okay, they got the X-Touch. I've never tried this one. It looks cool. I may return the FaderPort 8 and get the Behringer X-Touch. It has transport controls. It's rewind, fast forward, stop, play, and record. It's got the old scrolly wheel here, so you can go through your song and then go, right? Colors, as I understand, the colors are hell to get working in Reaper. You have to put some hacker frickin' script up. As I understand the Behringer 2 as well, the faders, I've seen them on YouTube videos going like, just, I don't know, how good can it be, right? I mean, but okay, I don't want to be hypocritical in that. I've only had a couple pieces of Behringer gear go bad on me. Some of you guys are like, you know, you're bitter from the year 2000. I've only had a few Behringer things to date go bad on me. I don't know that this thing won't last you 20 years. Who knows? I've just heard stories. And are we going to go ahead and pretend that this doesn't come from the same Asian slave Chinese factory that these are built in? I mean, are we going to pretend, right? It's probably the slave factory next door, right? Like the workers that have to sit for 16 hours to assemble this stuff in the dark in these Chinese factories, they probably share an ankle lock, you know? So like, let's not pretend that the quality of the Icon is going to be better than the quality of the Behringer necessarily, right? All right, now let's go back in time 20 years to this bad boy, which is what everybody emulates. These are still way too much money, and Mackie has not done any sort of innovation for 20 years. And you've probably heard my story before where I got in an argument with a guy in a chat somewhere, and I was dissing Mackie, and he's like, well, I'll have you know, I've been in Mackie research and development for 11 years. That's where I work. And I owned him by saying, well, I'll have you know, Mackie hasn't done anything in 12. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you're bragging you've worked at Mackie R&D for 11 years, and they've not done anything for 12. You just owned yourself, bro. You just owned yourself. They've not, what is the last thing they did? The Mackie Big Knob? Like, all of their 2x4 mixers are so stupid, so way behind the times. Anyway, this goes back to what everybody's emulating, the Mackie Universal Pro Control Surface. It's still $1,800, which is insane that it's that much money. And, you know, it's the HUI protocol that everybody typically emulates. If they're not emulating this, I think they're emulating like Avid or some other higher end thing. But not interested in a product that, what is this thing, 20 years old now? So, one of my favorite control surfaces in the whole wide world was the Project Mix IO. It was Firewire. And it was not only just a control surface with beautiful flying faders and automation. The faders were amazing. Amazing faders, amazing product. Mackie, QAI, and Cubase compatible. Cubase is another protocol that you can use in control surfaces. And this thing was also an 8-channel audio interface. This is such an amazing product. I wish someone, I don't even care if it's M-Audio, I wish someone would bring this thing back. It was Firewire, but bring one back, Thunderbolt or USB 3. I'll buy one the day you bring it back. Amazing. So what had happened to me was, remember back in the mid 2000s, Black Lying Audio was doing all them mods, right? They're like, you got to send your Digi 002 or your Digi 001 or your Digi 003 to Chicago to Black Lying Audio, because we're going to solder some 10-cent chips in there, and you're going to go, oh yeah, that does sound better. I can hear it and everything. That sounds pretty good. Yep, that sounds good. They were taking the 10-cent op amps off and putting a different 10-cent op amp on, right? And everybody's going, oh, Black Lying Audio, you're the best. We love you, Black Lying Audio. We love you. We send all our Digi 002 and 003. And everybody was loving Black Lying Audio. And to this day, Black Lying Audio is still a company that sells crap. And everybody's like, it's so good. I can totally hear it. I can totally hear it. I'm not lying to myself at all. I can hear it. Oh, them mods. Them mods are good. That's good mods. Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's ridiculous, right? You notice anybody that knows anything, and don't take my word for it. I'm some idiot in my basement. But go check some YouTube guys out that produce good music, okay? Go guys at my level, but like that actually show you themselves doing awesome music. And check out how much Black Lying Audio gear they have, okay? And I won't throw any examples up, but just YouTube some guys that do nice drums, nice keyboards, nice guitars, nice production, and then take a look to see how much Black Lying Audio stuff they have kicking around. It's gonna be none. Anybody with a nice studio that produces nice results does not have Black Lying Audio in their studio. Now, I won't tell the whole story here, but this is one of the times I always feel like I'm living in an alternate universe, that all you guys are running this way. There's millions of people running this way, and I'm running this way against the grain, going, I don't understand where you guys are going. And the 7 million people on Earth are going, we're going this way, dummy. And I'm like, but I'm going this way, though. Where I feel insane. I feel that nobody shares my point of view on this. I won't tell the whole story, but basically there's one guy at Black Lying Audio that screwed me over on this botched mod. When I sent mine to be modded by them, I give them $800 US. They botched the mod. They sent me back a broken machine, and there is one guy. I know his name. I know what he looks like. I know where he works now. He doesn't work at Black Lying Audio anymore, which is very, very weird to be at the top, and then now you're just some guy somewhere else. You hear many CEOs stop being a CEO, and then they're just like some average position somewhere else. That's a weird thing, right? Like, you ever hear Ford Motor Company going, we got rid of that CEO, and you're like, where is he now? And they're like, oh, he works at a call center. It's like, what? Yeah, it's a weird thing. But anyway, I know the guy. I know who it is. I know what he looks like. I know his name. But here's the weird thing. If you ask me, he's a scumbag, thief, idiot, and he has to be on drugs. He has to be, right? Or was back when this happened, okay? But if you ask anyone else who knows the guy, it's 100% no, that's the nicest guy. That's the nicest guy. Give you the shirt off his back. I once seen him save a bus full of nuns. He donates all of his money to Cancer Foundation. Like, he is the nicest guy. Put it this way. Jesus had a brother. His brother, this guy. You know, like the whole world, like anybody else that knows this guy, they're like, no, he's smart. He's friendly. He'll give you the shirt off his back. He's the nicest guy. I'm like, everybody, listen. I caught this guy in some dark crap, okay? He is not who everybody else thinks he is. Like I said, for me, lying, thieving, idiot, okay? And it's so weird for me because and then people informed, no, that guy donates all his money to sick kids. He's the nicest guy there ever was. I'm like, yeah, except when it come to my unit. He frickin' ripped me off, this guy. And then what had happened in Gear Sluts / what is it called now? Gear Space, Gear Source. I had all these PMs, DMs come in going, yeah, that company's poison. That dude is poison. That company's poison. That dude is poison. But they won't say it out loud because they got the same thing that I did. In public, everybody's like, no, that dude's nice, man. He's a nice guy. No, that dude is poison. He doesn't even work there anymore. So do I hold it against Black Lying Audio to this day? Yeah, I sure do. I sure do. I was young. I didn't have a lot of money, and they ripped me off for almost a month's pay back then. It was a terrible thing to do to somebody, especially a young guy like I was trying to get my, foot. I had projects on the go recording bands. They basically dummied my studio for months. They dummied my studio and my bank account for months. Black Lying Audio. And now that scumbag doesn't even work there. And to this day, I will sometimes get bitter and bring the thing up, and I'll get both sides of it. Mostly people going, no, that guy is like God's right-hand man. You don't understand. That guy's pretty much a priest. He's pretty much an ordained minister. That guy's so saintly and holy. And then I'll get a few little side DMs going, that dude is Satan. That guy is literally Hitler, Very weird. But anyway, hey, beware Black Lying Audio. And, if anyone tells you they're any good, like I said, check YouTube, check around, see if anybody that really knows what they're doing has much Black Lying Audio gear in their studio. I think you'll find that they don't. But, well, anyway, this has been my rant about all the crappy control surfaces out there. Many, many crappy control surfaces available. Not much good available. I don't know. Maybe I should have waited for Cyber Monday or whatever, Black Friday or NAMM to see if anything else comes out. I don't think I'm keeping this. Look how wimpy that thing looks. And you go, oh, it's not about the looks. Well, it kind of is when you're a YouTube channel, right? Because this is what people want to see. Ooh, look, he knows what he's doing. He's got these. I know he knows what he's doing because look at this. Woo, yeah. Right? You kind of got to have, when you're doing what I'm doing with the YouTube channel, you got to kind of have the flash just kind of sticking around. Or else, why would anyone listen to me about gear if I don't have gear, right? So when I do my desk shot, it's just this tiny little Anyway, hey, this has been Quest for Gear. Like and subscribe if you want to. And look out for Black Lying Audio. I will swear on anything that that dude is a lying, thieving scumbag. And I know he doesn't work there anymore, but all of his fan group still does. Trust me. You can't say anything bad about that scumbag. They will defend him to this day. And how do I ration that? How do I explain that? I don't know. Maybe the dude, well, if you listen to his voice, which I have talked to him on the phone several times back in the ordeal, I think he's just a really dark, weird, conniving, scheming dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't Pied Piper his whole work. He's just like, I'm the greatest dude ever, dudes. High five, dudes. I'm the greatest dude ever. And then when he comes to get what he needs out of me to, scam me, he's just like, and this is how I really am. Ho, 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 ho. And like nobody knows but me and a few people that PM me on Gear Slots. Anyway, weird. Someday I'll tell the whole Black Lying Audio story. All right. This has been Quest for Gear. Thanks for watching, and don't buy any Black Lying Audio gear. Thanks for watching.